So we're back. It's episode 13 of A2K America to Korea. This episode, it's called The Showcase Begins, but it should be called The Showcase Almost Begins because it doesn't quite get there by the end of it. Basically, this is just practice and prep leading up to the showcase. And so kind of a bait and switch there because they put a lot of hype around it. I noticed that after the last episode, they tweeted out this one right away with them in their costumes and stuff. It seemed like something was going to go down, but nothing went down. All we got was the costume reveal at the end for all of them, and that's it. And so this episode starts off with some practicing from the early previews. It seems like C may be further along in practice at the very start at least, but then obviously JYP shows up and then he becomes the intimidating mentor for them. And so for me, that basically ticks off one of these what do you call it? These bingo cards here. Intimidating mentor appears. So that's the first bingo card we've hit in a long time. But continuing with it, JYP goes to each of the teams. He surprises them and gives them feedback. Now, when he walks into the room, he basically says he's not here to judge or criticize them, only to help. But then he does go ahead and kind of gives them a little bit of criticism. But this is kind of mandatory when you think about it, right? It was kind of an impossible promise to keep because if he was going to give them advice, he has to criticize them, and he has to watch them and judge them. And so, kind of a funny thing there. But anyways, he goes on to the A team first, which is Camilla, KG, and Christina. And he watches them perform. Now, KG here is not confident on dance. Christina is not confident on singing. Camilla, she ends up helping both as the leader. But when you get to the actual performance, now for me, when I'm seeing them perform, I think that, it seems fine, but vocals do need work, right? And so they're just here dancing for JYP. He says he's not going to criticize them. He kind of gets into it after that, though. So after it, he basically says he's impressed with the vocals and dance. I was kind of surprised that he was that impressed. I was wondering if he was going to be a little bit disappointed, but it seems like he was trying to keep his word to not make them feel too bad about it. But basically, he said Camilla was carrying on the vocals. It says KG's dance is surprisingly up to par. And he also said Christina got stronger in vocals. Now, Christina is the one I noticed the most when I said it probably needs some work. But other than that, he said the dance is precise and powerful, but he wants more emotion from Christina. Says it's not giving her enough. And then at the end, he kind of praises them and says this is the hardest song. So he kind of gives them an easy out there, saying this is difficult. You can't pull it off that easily. And so if they do not as well, I guess then maybe they won't feel as bad. But I actually underestimated the song. When I saw it early on because I figured it was kind of like an older gen song. And Wonder Girls, I guess they toured a lot in America. Seems like a good song to have for this kind of competition. I thought they were going to have a Wonder Girls guest judge or something maybe, but they didn't end up doing that. So he gets to the C team next. I don't know why he skips over B. But this is the team that Lexi says is lacking in stones, and so they're not too confident about it. But we get into it. And I would say, from what I saw, Lexi, her vocals were actually not that strong, and the team felt out of sync many times for me. But we get to JYP's criticisms, and JYP says, Gina is someone who stabilizes the song. He said Lexi is good on dance, and then he criticizes Melissa and Yuna, saying that Melissa is slow, but Yuna is fast. And basically, Yuna is having the same issue she always had. I guess at this point, she still hasn't learned to feel the pocket. And so that's kind of worrying because here's someone who knows how to dance, but does she not dance with the song? Or what's with the delayed reaction? Can you survive a bear attack if you have delayed reactions? I don't know. But basically, he just gives them this advice, says, Melissa, with practice, you'll figure it out. So right now you're slow because you're uncertain. But for Yuna, he's basically saying, you got to learn to feel that music and you got to learn to focus, basically staying on beat. Now, I don't know if that makes you more neurotic or crazy and more likely to choke during performance. I feel like feeling the pocket of songs and knowing, when that arm comes out and when that beat drops at certain points, it's just something that you got to feel and you got to get into. And so I'm surprised that Yuna can't feel it. No, considering she knows how to dance with her body. But maybe her talent is more in the storytelling aspect of understanding like the movements and understanding the visual effect of the dance, but maybe she's not quite sure how to get into this music pocket yet. So, anyways, uh, after this, it was something funny happened, which is that Gina starts asking, "How do you sing and dance at the same time?" And JYP, uh, he basically gives them advice on how to like, I guess, breathe and like how to do stuff properly. Melissa, she also asks about hip exercises, and it's kind of funny because it becomes a point where people are taking advantage of JYP being here and asking him all the questions they can, and he basically throws out his back while trying to demonstrate things to them, which I sympathize with because I basically just threw out my back. Right now, I'm actually in a lot of pain. I was installing a fountain, and I threw out my back, and so I'm feeling sore too. So that's that's how that's how I feel for JYP right now. But we get to the B team, and the B team is Kendall, Kaylee, Savannah, and Misha. Now, Kaylee at the beginning of this is asking other members of the group if her moves are correct during the setup, so she seems unsure there. The whole team is stated to be unstable by the captioning on the like little pop-up words. Something I noticed here is that the judges are all Korean. They're speaking in Korean, and so I don't know if there's like a translator telling the contestants like what the judges are saying. But that's interesting that the dance coaches are all like Korean. I don't know if they're on like some kind of like foreign work program, but that's what's happening. Uh, Also, in the background, you see Kaylee's losing confidence during practice. She cries again. I think that's like 3 for 3 for her so far. And so hopefully, it might even be 4. I'm not sure. She might have cried out of happiness before. But anyways, that's happening. Savannah leading this team, and then Misha ends up helping Kaylee as well. But anyways, we get into the actual practice, and I noticed Misha is still a bit stiff. And I'm sorry if you can hear my dog back there. But Misha is still a bit stiff. Kendall's vocals are failing, and Kaylee is still choking a bit. And so I did not like this practice session very much. I hope it would be better. But for JYP, he was actually very encouraging, more encouraging than I thought he would be. He was telling them that Savannah has good emotions, but it could be more precise with cleaner lines, and does a demonstration with her and tells her, how to get your hands, like, put them up straight, don't curl them, don't curve them, like, try to give clean lines so people can see them more clearly, and you have to do fast and kind of like to the point. Misha, he basically says she needs to get into the pocket of the song as well. I think same thing with as the Yuna thing, but also maybe she has to work a little bit harder because there's something about her that's kind of like still robotic about it. Kaylee, he said that she had good vocals. I didn't really hear good vocals, but I guess it was stable vocals, kind of like talk singing vocals. As for Kendall, he said her singing sounds thinner than Kaylee's, and he was saying that to make it further, she needs to sing without the falsetto, kind of like put more air behind a full voice. And so Kaylee started to get, not Kaylee, Kendall started to get more frustrated because of this. And it's because basically JYP pinpointed that she basically doesn't know the difference between falsetto and the full voice. And it could be that she's just not used to it, or her voice is just naturally airy like that, and she's never sung just like, or spoken even, with just a normal, like, full voice. And so he's saying that they can get it with practice, but he was very unsure about Kendall being able to learn this distinction between the falsetto and just the full voice. And so we get to the showcase day, and around now we're 20 minutes in, and I'm like, I guess songs aren't that long. But of course they don't show the songs. And so it gets to the showcase day. Kendall starts talking about how her group had to cut corners in order to meet time constraints. And to me, that's pretty odd. That's like a normal thing. I think for projects, you can't, if you dream big at least, you're not going to get everything. And in that respect, it's always a good idea to dream big, but you always have to pare down to meet goals as well. And so Kendall was saying that. And then we also got to see the girls come out in their outfits, and JYP seems to like the look of all their outfits. And other than that, a special judge shows up, Nick Kun from 2PM. He says that he was raised in America and went to Korea to become an idol. And the criteria for the showcase was that they're looking for someone who's just a potential star. And of course, you know, at that point, we're left on a cliffhanger. The first real cliffhanger that we've had in this show since. And so we don't get to see the final performances. We kind of just get to see them here. And it stops very close to the 30-minute mark. And so let's go here to cliffhanger edit. And also, an idol guest appears for Nick-kun. And so this is where we are right now. Looks like there's no other bingo squares, but I'm very close to getting 5 in a row here. But one girl already famous. I mean, I don't think Camilla counts because she didn't exactly like get big off The Voice, so it doesn't really count. And so this is kind of like just a kind of a dead end. But that's it. That's this episode so far. These are the teams. Team A at the top, Team B in the center, Team C in the bottom. Hopefully I got that right. Maybe I made a mistake. I kind of put this together really quickly. But this is where we are. And, you know, so far, Team B is obviously struggling the most. And I said they would struggle the most because basically their team is lacking vocally. It says that they were vocally crippled. And basically you're banking on their star quality. And then I expected Team C to do pretty well. And Team A, I thought they would do pretty well. But it seems like they're all struggling a little bit more than I thought they would. And so, who knows? Maybe this could make or break some of the contestants. Because by this point, they've had time to work with each other. And they've had time to ask each other, like, how do I overcome this pitfall? What perception, can I borrow your perception in dancing or singing? And can you help me do this properly? Like, they should have mixed it up already. And, you know, they're not necessarily restricted to asking within their teams. And we saw that in the previews as well. They were dancing for the other groups as well. And they were giving you feedback. And so, at this point, I mean, if you're failing in that regard, it may be something that's just, like, not fixable. Or you're not asking the right questions. Or who knows. And I guess that's it. So that looks like it. I guess next week or looks like next Monday is going to be the final mission for sure, right? Hopefully, unless they like cut away and do a sports day, that would be really that would be like a second Trixie JYP. Yeah, false. He's false. Trixie JYP. You know, he tricked them in this as well. He said he wasn't gonna criticize them, but you could tell that what he said kind of hurt some of them. And so that's him tricking us there, and he also tricked us in that this is not the final showcase. But anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why in the comment box down below. Wish me luck on my back recovering, because I'm in a lot of pain right now. I'm leaned forward because if I lean back, it's gonna be really sore. Like I'm literally wincing out loud when I have to like get out of this chair. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.